You're on pro-life, you're pro-suffering, so I'm not going to attack you. I'm simply going to point out a few things out to you. One of those things I have already stated to you, which is life is full of suffering and we cannot escape it. And it is better to be pro-suffering than to intentionally kill a human being. Then I'd like to introduce you to an author who writes quite a bit about the concept of suffering. And he is considered one of the greatest authors in history, and by some even one of the best philosophers, even though he isn't one, he's just an author. And his name is Fyodor Dostoevsky, and he's a man who has actually experienced suffering in life, if you read up on his history of his life. And I will attach a few screenshots here about a few of his concepts, but you have to read his books to get a deep understanding. He really dives deep into that concept of suffering and why it's not necessarily a bad thing. Now, we shouldn't intentionally inflict pain and suffering on innocent human beings. But once again, we can't escape it in life. If we go to exercise, we suffer. We suffer from death of a parent or a pet and so on. You can also take two people born in the same place, in the same situation, experience exactly the same thing, and they both choose, keyword choose, to allow that experience to define their life. One person may choose to be a victor, another person may choose to be a victim. So it's often a difference of a mindset. And I can give you my personal experience. I'm someone who has suffered quite a bit in life, especially early on. And I grew up with people in the same exact situation in an orphanage where there was a lot of alcohol, drugs, abuse of all types. At one point, I even got hit in the head with a hammer because I was trying to protect little kids. And the hammer grazed me a little bit right here. You can't really see it anymore because it healed. Maybe it's over here. And it healed. And I had to get a surgery because a piece of the bone broke off. And they had to close and fix that little hole. However, people born in the same situation as me, a lot of them chose to partake in drugs and alcohol and so on. And because it was easy, I, however, chose to embrace the suffering and see it as character building and not to use my pain to hurt others. Because at the end of the day, we always have a choice what we do. There's many people who have suffered and they don't do evil. There's also many people who had a decent or great life and they have inflicted a great deal of pain on other people intentionally. And you also don't know how a person's life will turn out if you give them to an orphanage or foster care. Pertaining to the mother, pregnancy is not all sunshine and rainbows. People understand that. Sure, it's uncomfortable. It's a form of suffering. Majority of abortions are done on a healthy pregnancy and fetus. Women should have the option to abortion if a child dies or it will risk their life, and they do have that option to abort. Now back to Fyodor Dostoevsky and his books. Just to sell it a little bit more, one of the people who really liked this author is a man named Nietzsche, the philosopher. So I think that's a pretty good sell. I think even, Leo Tolstoy liked him, very well-known author. And there's a bunch of other people, I just don't want to say the wrong person. Read his books because it will change your life.